The superpower of learning to be alone and enjoying it. These times where you just think about things. Just be alone and think about things are so rare these days. And I think during those rare times is when you really get to understand what you actually believe or don't believe.
I start anyways. Uncertain timing, I start anyways. No validation, I start anyways. Lack of funding, I start anyways. But here's the secret. Perfect timing, it doesn't exist. While you're waiting, somebody else is building. While you're planning, somebody else is launching.
I need you to try. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you've been planning, whatever you've been talking about when you get with your homies, whatever you've been praying about, I need you just to start trying on it. And if you think you're trying on it, you're not trying on it. You're not. I need you to take it up another gear. I need you to do more research. I need you to figure out your flaws, have some self-reflection, take some accountability, see where you're lacking at, and start trying for real. And give it everything you got, bro.
So the reason why I feel resistance, the resistance is me about to hit the breakthrough and get to the next level, but I can't get to the next level because there's a past version of me who can't go to the next level. So life is showing you the resistance so you can say, oh wait, there's a version of me who still lives in scarcity and I'm about to break through to this life of abundance. How in the world can I go live a life of abundance if I still got this version of me who lives in scarcity and lack? And that's the resistance. So here's what you ask yourself. Who is this and what is this inside of me that is creating this resistance?
Choosing peace cost you certain connections. That does not mean that you chose wrong. It means you chose right for the life that you're building next.
If you could leave me with one piece of advice, what would it be?
You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do.
400 trillion to 1. The odds of becoming a human being.
75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years, 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is it?
We all get exactly the same amount of time. Exactly.
Time is so precious and it's fleeting.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance?
Life is shorter than you think.
Betray your destiny and see how long it takes you to be drowning in a storm.
Seneca said, while we wait for life, life passes.
It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
Is your life in your hands, yes or no?
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
We call this go into the silence. Go and sit down quietly by yourself for 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes. Most people in our society have never sat quietly for 30 to 60 minutes in their entire lives. Yet I will tell you this method works 100% of the time. That any problem that you have, any difficulty, any challenge, any goal that you want to accomplish, if you'll go into the silence and sit quietly and then listen to the still small voice within. Listen to the still small voice within. You will find that at a certain point, probably at about 25 to 30 minutes, your mind will go completely clear. And then a flow of ideas will start to flow into your mind. You'll feel energy welling up inside you. And at a precise moment, as you sit there in complete silence, no cigarettes, no coffee, no music, nothing, just complete silence, at a particular moment, your mind will go clear and wham, exactly the answer you need will come at exactly the right time. And if you will get up and go and carry out that answer, it will turn out to be exactly perfect.
You know, the fact that life is short and can be brutal, can terrify you, into hiding and avoiding, but it can also, you can flip that on its head and understand that since you're all in anyways, you might as well take the risks that are adventurous. And that's a very good thing to understand. And what is also useful to understand in that manner is that there isn't anything more adventurous than the truth.
What our life is a combination of a certain amount of time and energy. Time is rolling away for all of us at the same pace. If you sit, it rolls away. If you sleep, it rolls away. If you do something, it goes away. If you don't do anything, it goes away. You're happy or miserable, it goes away. Time is running out for all of us.
Okay, you're 25 and you're thinking, wow, I've got 10 years to figure it all out. I've got all these vistas of time. I'm young, I'm healthy, etc. You don't have nearly as much time as you think you do. It goes very fast. So you need a sense of urgency and energy.
When you understand that your days are counted, that your days are limited, you begin to work with urgency towards your goals. You begin to work with urgency towards the things that you want in life. People say, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get started when the new year hits. It doesn't work that way. Life passes you by with no urgency, but day by day. And so many people live and wake up like accidents that they forget this beautiful principle that life is in your control, and if you want to experience a certain type of outcome and a certain type of future, you must input the necessary labor today.
Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time we get all there is? It's what we do with it that makes a difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today, you're going to figure it out.
There is something which is in your hands, and there is something which is not in your hands. So that means even if, let's say, even if it is written in the stars, this is like, maybe it's the destiny, but you are not putting the work down. You are not waking up early in the morning, you're not answering the emails, you don't educate yourself, you don't understand how the processes are working, none of this. Then even if destiny is maybe written down, but it's still not going to happen. Because your actions that you're doing are not fitting to what is, let's say, written down to your destiny.
What's calling you to be your best is exactly the thing that's pushing you forward to manifest yourself most fully in the world. It's what you need. You run away from that, the boat's going to start to rock very, very quickly.
You want to improve? You want to get better? You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet? You want to start a business? You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or put together some mobile application? Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now. You initiate the action aggressively. You go. Because the idea isn't going to execute itself. And the book isn't going to write itself. And the weights out in the gym, they're not going to move themselves. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. And that means you got to stop thinking about it and stop dreaming about it and stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Just start doing it.
You must be the master of your own kingdom. There needs to be some period in your day where you remember that there's a world out there trying to tell you who you are, and there's a world in here that's trying to tell you who you are. Now, where do you want to put your eggs?
The more I listen to this, the better my life gets. If they don't have what you want, don't listen to what they say. There's no greater waste of time than justifying your actions to people who have a life you don't want.
The two major emotions that wrestle within us all the time are fear versus desire. World championship goes on over and over again. Your fears that hold you back, your desires that propel you forward. Now, how do you turn this equation so that your desires win? Very simple. You use the law of concentration, and you think about what you want all the time. You dwell on what you want all the time. You keep your mind fixed on your desires. You become totally preoccupied with what you want, and as we said before, your fears have a tendency to dwindle. But whichever thing you think about, if you think about your fears or you think about your desires, whichever one you think about, by the law of emotion is going to determine your actions, and your actions will determine your outcomes.
Understand that you have one life. How you live it is your choice, but life will pass you by. You don't want to be the person that wakes up 30, 40, 50 years from now and regrets what they did.
The biggest poison in us is regret. It's poison.
We don't spend enough time thinking about the big questions. We kind of give up on them when we're very, very young. You know, a little child might ask the big questions like, why are we here? What's the meaning of life? What is this all about? You know, is there Santa Claus? Is there God? But then as adults, we're taught not to think about these things, or we've given up on them. But I think the big questions are the big questions for good reasons. And if you can keep the idea in front of you at all times that you're going to die and that everything goes literally to zero, what's the stress in that?
No matter what you are going through in life, how sad you are, how much pain you're feeling, the trauma that you're going through, you are strong enough to see another day.
If you had to do it all over again, would you make the same choices?
What choice? We can't run from who we are. Our destiny chooses us.
Like, do you really want to go your whole life without seeing what your mind is capable of?
Stop making excuses. Simple as that.
Fear, it's a construct of the mind in the first place.
Be fucking fearless. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action.
What do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. Everything in their life is geared towards one goal.
Any human realizes that if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it.
If you can understand that it is irrelevant what people gossip, it is irrelevant what they say, it is irrelevant if they laugh, it is irrelevant if they talk shit, and you understand that the only thing is relevant is what you do, you're going to succeed.
You're not just competing against people who want the same things that you want. You are competing against people who have no other choice but to get the thing that you want.
If my life was a movie and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be inspired to take risks, not just risks to achieve success, but embrace feeling, both pride and shame, fear and excitement. Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows.
Feeling vulnerable is letting go of your ego, letting go of that tightness, letting go of that ability to protect yourself at all costs from any kind of hurt. You want to fail in life, you want adversity. Failing in life is the best education that can ever happen to you. And failing in life is a deep wound, but it teaches you very valuable lessons. So if you go through life where I don't want to ever feel hurt, I don't ever want to feel criticized or to fail, you're never going to learn, you're never going to succeed, you're never going to be powerful.
Voluntarily undertaken responsibility isn't a burden. It's an opportunity, right? That doesn't mean it's not easy, but easy. Like, I don't know what easy is. What's easy? Pointless misery? That's not easy. Like, so I guess the reason you pick up your cross and walk uphill is because that's the best thing you can do, all things considered.
When you said, I'm all in, were you really all in? Let me tell you what the cost of being all in is. Early mornings, late nights, being misunderstood, having very few friends, being your own cheerleader. Are you those things?
People always talk about, I'm a hard worker. Everybody in this room is a hard worker. That's not going to separate you from anybody else. What are you working hard on?
If you really want to be great at something, it definitely doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year or two. And even if you're having a great season or you're having a career year, there's still so much more room to continue to improve. You know, it's still much more room for you to continue with the process of becoming great. The time and the commitment that you give to yourself, and to your body, and to your craft, and to your mind, those things will take care of itself. And if it's meant for you to have, then it's meant for you to have. And if it's not, if you've done all those things leading up to it and it still didn't happen, you sleep better at night. You're okay with yourself because you gave your body, your mind, your soul, everything that you could ever ask for.
Being great right now, bro, how do you want to be remembered? You know you're meant for more, bro. You see, there's a difference between choices and decisions. Choices means you get to pick. You don't have a choice right now. You have to decide to be great. You have to decide to leave behind a legacy that's worth following. Get the fuck up. Nobody cares how you feel. Put the work in. Leave behind that legacy for them.
Life isn't fair. It's not supposed to be. It's a fight for your peace, your focus, and your future. You don't get to cruise through it. You earn your breakthroughs. You either face the pain or let it own you. That voice in your head telling you to stop, it's lying. So no, it's not easy. But the only way you lose is if you quit.
The things we do in the invisible when no one's watching make all the difference in the world. No matter where you are in life, you know that there's something more, there's something bigger. If you continue to do the same thing, you'll continue to get the same results. There's no other way to look at it. How many opportunities have you missed because you sat on the sidelines?
What I see today is that everything's possible in this world for those who don't quit on themselves or their dreams, to reach higher and higher with our dreams, to become more ridiculous with our dreams, because they're all possible.
Every time you have a thought, you're telling yourself a story that's gonna decide, are you having a great day, are you moving forward, are you making progress, or are you convincing your own mind that things are not going well, that things are bad, and you've got things going against you. Every thought you're in control of. And when you're in control of your thoughts, you can change your story at a moment. You can change what you say so you stop hypnotizing yourself to be negative and start promoting your mind so you get the results that you want. Everything you say to yourself is going to be a reaction to what you're telling your mind.
Whatever you say to yourself and believe over and over again, you start to believe as a reality. You start to walk it, you talk it, and act it. So what you say is, I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I don't care what it is, I'm unstoppable. Nothing will stop me. The greatest of all qualities to guarantee success is the absolute willingness to go at anything and refuse to stop until you achieve it.
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for. Every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
You can make a million excuses why you didn't work out this morning. You can make a million excuses why you didn't get that raise, why you didn't take that leap of faith. You can make a million excuses, but you know deep down inside, and consciousness is eating away at you, that it's an excuse. It's not a reason, it's an excuse. Stop making excuses. And when you stop making excuses, the only alternative is then results. You will have periods of defeat. But that defeat will be temporary and not permanent, because you will dust yourself off, get back up, and try again.
So what's the story you're telling yourself from the day you wake up and all through the day till the night. Just because things don't go your way doesn't mean you can't change the story or learn a lesson from what's happening. Tell yourself the story and the results that you want. Convince yourself that things are always going your way, even when they aren't, and you'll find the direction and you'll find the answer to get the results that you're looking for and that you need. Convince yourself that the stories that you're convincing yourself of are positive and not negative. And the stories and the events and the feelings you get will create the results that you want.
You want to be on your deathbed, looking back at your life saying, I just didn't try. It's unfortunate when things don't work out. It's unfortunate when things don't go the way you plan. But if you try as hard as you possibly can and things just don't go your way, that's still a life that you can hang your hat on. But to live a full life of mediocrity, of apathy, of not trying, of always opting for comfort and convenience instead of doing what is right, doing what is best for you and your family is not just something that you can't hang your hat on, it is something that you should be ashamed of, something you should be embarrassed about.
What if you don't accomplish your goals? What if you don't do anything different? What if you just make a long list of things that you would like to do, but you don't?
Respect is earned through results. Respect is earned through commitment, through effort, through doing what you say you're going to do, and displaying that through everything in your life.
Just so we're all clear, some of the best lessons that you will ever learn, some of the best lessons that I will ever learn, will come from the most pain, the most frustration, and the darkest moments.
But who are you on those days when all hell's broke loose? Your body's done. You're sore. You're depressed. You're miserable. Who are you on those days when it's all f***ed up? That's the great divide. Those people who get up on those days when everything's f***ed up and still grind, that's the separator right there.
I felt I was never enough. There was always something that additionally needed to be done.
On Earth is a very lonely journey.
And so in the early days, like, it feels so painful because you're like, you look around to see who can help you, and then you're like, fuck, it's me again.
You've made a commitment to pursuing a better life for yourself, to pursuing your dreams and ambitions. And unfortunately, just so happens that when you do that, things can get pretty lonely.
The discomfort is necessary for growth. Being tired, pushing yourself, working out when you don't want to, pushing yourself to the point where your body has to adapt and grow and become stronger. Through doing that, you will actually feel better.
You have to sacrifice everything in order to achieve your goal. Everything. You have to be sacrifice your family, your dignity, everything, because the objective is to accomplish the goal. You have to be able to disregard your happiness, because our happiness is a form of our ego as well. And it's all about disintegrating the ego and being this objective individual. You know, the ego gives it purpose, so you have to have a purpose without a feeling, which I just know how to do. I can't even explain it.
Everything that hurts you, find a way to overcome it.
What you made look easy was harder than they'll ever know. They will see your progress. They will see your success. They will not see your suffering. They will not see your pain. What looks easy was harder than they'll ever know. It took your everything, and you were willing to give it all. Knowing this is your fuel. Knowing this is your eventual fulfillment. Never surrender. Keep fighting.
There is a period in everybody's journey where they are so different because they've started to do new things that they no longer fit in with their old set of friends, but they're not sufficiently developed that they've gained their new set of friends, and they're unsure. Should I go back? Should I lean back into getting a bag in with the boys on a weekend? Is that the highest, way that I can live my life passion forward? Because that's what everybody else does. So you're going to feel the pain of being ostracized from the group of friends that you used to have, but you're stuck in this messy middle where you haven't yet worked out who you are on the other side of this. And that lonely chapter that's in the middle is something that I would say almost nobody that I've ever met who has gone from a place where they are to a place where they want to be hasn't gone through.
I became obsessed with the power of the mind. And I got into it deep, like really deep, just meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are, like how we really do paint our world with our thoughts and our level of self-belief.
The only version of acceptance that I have is that I accept that the version of myself that I want to be is so far from who I am, that I have this massive discrepancy that I have to overcome. And then just breaking that down one step at a time and thinking, I don't deserve to be that man, but I can still do the things that can create it. And that also means that I have to go through the circumstances that would create that man, which means that if I have unbelievable big dreams and big goals, then I have to go through hard times. It's like hate. The hard times are a requisite for success. And so if you're going through hard times right now, it means that you're on the path to success. And it's not that you're on the wrong path, it's the feeling of being on the right path.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. That is the equation. That is the price. There where doubt doesn't get a seat and comfort doesn't have a voice. For something to change, something else has to change. Nothing new will come from the same you. So do what you've never done and find out who you were meant to become.
Winning is for the obsessed. You must be obsessed if you want to win. You must be obsessed with the goal, the journey, the outcome, the experience, the rejections, the resilience, the grit. And throughout that journey, as you hit these micro wins, celebrate them and then lock back in.
You know, yeah, most of the process is hard. You have to bear struggle, and most days you don't feel like doing the things that you need to be doing in order to get to where you want to go. So it's a grind, for sure. But you have these moments, you find these moments within that process that make you realize that it's all worth it. You have a breakthrough, an opportunity lands in your lap, you meet someone, whatever it may be. There's that thing that just keeps you going, and you stand on that hilltop and you look back at how far you've come. And those are the moments that make it worth it. Hang in there long enough to have those. Give yourself the chance.
Why do you expect your dreams to materialize in 3 months? It took Leonardo da Vinci 30 years of painting before he created the Mona Lisa. Doctors spend 12 years in training before they can heal independently. Lawyers dedicate 8 years to understanding justice, yet you're ready to abandon your dream in just 90 days? The masters weren't just born masters. They were forged by showing up for thousands of hours long after their motivation had abandoned them. Your business, your art, your craft is not meant to bloom overnight. It's meant to be cultivated. What if Da Vinci stopped at year 2? What masterpieces would the world have lost? What if you stopped now? What version of yourself will never exist? The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent. It's simply who stayed in the room longer. Keep going. Not because success is guaranteed, but because quitting guarantees failure. The clock is ticking either way. You might as well spend it becoming extraordinary.
But sometimes the reason that you're suffering is because you just won't let go of the thing that's biting you. That's not such a good idea. The funny thing too, often when people let something like that go, it goes away, sorts itself out, and then comes back. So they don't even end up losing it. But unless they're willing to let it go, to sacrifice it, they make no headway whatsoever. And so one of the rules is, if people are impeding your development, you sacrifice your relationship with them.
If you are in a terrible place right now, if your life sucks right now, and you're waiting around for things to get better, that's not what you should be doing. That's not how it works. You need to take action. You need to control what you could control, which is your food, what you put in your mind, how you move your body, how much water you drink, who you associate with, the things that are in your control. You need to execute on those in a positive manner and then continue to do that even when things get good.
Suffering is a test. That's all it is. Suffering is the true test of life. In times of suffering, what we do is we forget how hard we really are. You have to believe in one thing, and that is yourself. But you've got to go inside yourself to find it. But if you're not looking for it, you won't find it. It's a reminder of who you truly are at the core of yourself. And if you don't know that, you will live the rest of your life searching, always asking the question, why? All these insecure people putting their insecurities on you, you gotta flush it out. You gotta take everything and throw it away. I use the hurt you're trying to put on me, I flip it upside down and use it. I'm using it for strength. I just flip negative into positive, that's all it is.
You are your greatest investment. You are the greatest investment that you'll make. You can invest in crypto and real estate and all these other things, but the single most important investment in life is you. You are the greatest investment. You're the one that creates the return. You're the one that builds everything that is your world. You should be investing in you more than anything else. Your mind, your body, your spirituality. You should be investing in you above everything and anything else. You are your greatest investment.
High performers hold themselves to a higher standard than the one that they are given. That's the separator between great people and average people. That's the separator between earning a living and becoming wealthy. That's the separator between nobody knowing who you are and every single motherfucker on the planet knowing who you are. You will never become great doing what's expected of you. You will only become great by holding yourself to a much higher standard than that. And that's gonna come with criticism. Hey man, why do you work so hard? Hey, you don't have to do that. You need to take a break. Yeah, motherfucker, if I wanna be like you, that's what I need to do.
Life is not gonna get easier. It's just that your mind and your body become more resistant, more strong. Same situation, more relaxed. Why? Because you finally start to find a solution that is within your reach, within your hands.
The greatest test that anything can withstand is time. Just give it time. It'll reveal itself.
Setbacks, problems, adversity, opposition, challenges are expected but never permanent. Like, I want you to pick up what I'm telling you, man. Setbacks, adversity, opposition, challenges, problems, it's to be expected.
When you're trying to do something hard, what your brain does is give you something else hard to do that's not quite as hard, so that you can feel justified in not doing the thing you're supposed to because you're doing something else useful. And if you give in to that temptation, which you often will, then it wins, and because it wins, it gets a little dopamine kick and it grows stronger. Anything you let win, the internal argument, grows.
How can you beat someone who cannot f***ing quit? How can you beat someone who every time they go through a hard time, they get better and they get stronger instead of getting weaker and getting demoralized?
Like, we all gonna go through something. Like, I love the quote that say, we all got problems. What makes us different is how we solve them. It's expected, but never permanent.
You always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does.
One day you'll wake up and realize the potential you had, knowing you've chosen comfort over effort.
Fear is overcome. Hesitation is overcome. It's not overcome by motivation. It's overcome by discipline. I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm nervous, I'm hesitant, I'm not sure if I want to do this, I'm second guessing, all those little things. They're just overridden by one thing and one thing only, discipline. And that's what it's going to take. That is the discipline.
When he lost courage, he would recite it, and it would give him what he needed to keep going. Out of the night that covers me black as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever God there may be for my unconquerable soul, the fell collective circumstance, I have not cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of fate, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade, Yet the midst of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charts the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
What got me to this point was I was just the opposite of what I am today. I was that guy who ran away from absolutely everything that got in front of me.
What pain have you gone through that has turned into suffering? It's the relationship where someone's unfaithful and you end a relationship that you thought was great. That is painful. But suffering is 3 years down the road and still saying, can't trust a man, can't trust a woman. It's the same thing when it comes to money. It's the same thing when it comes to business. What pain have you experienced in your past that you didn't process, that you didn't learn from, and now it's just this suffering mechanism that wakes you up, keeps you thinking, is when you're alone in your thoughts, it pops up. It's like, hey, suffering here, let's spend some time together. It's like, no, screw you, I learned from that. I'm no longer suffering. Declare today, decide today that suffering will end. Pain is a part of our life. The more pain you have, that means the bigger you're playing the game. But we don't have to suffer. You have a choice.
Things are hard in life because this is the way that your soul evolves and grows. Think of it like a weight room. When I lift weights, and I lift weight that's easy for me, I'm not gonna make any growth in my muscle. It won't. But when I start to lift things that are heavy, that are difficult, there's a lot of resistance, that's going to create tears in my muscle that eventually will start to grow back and it will develop muscle. I will increase my strength. Life is the same thing. The weight room is a microcosm of life. So I have to go through hard things. I have to go through things that put me under tension, that make me uncomfortable, that create resistance to ensure that my mind, that my soul will continue to evolve and grow. But just like with lifting weights, if it gets hard and I drop it, I let it down, I'm not going to get out of it what I could have gotten out of it. So instead, when times get hard, there may be times that you have to take a break, but do not give up.
It doesn't get any easier. Wins don't come easy. Wins are earned. The score matters. We live in the world where everybody thinks of, hey, showing up is half the battle. No, showing up is none of the battle. It's none of the battle. If showing up is half the battle, you're so far away from winning and being limitless, you're never even going to get there.
So I know it might not seem this way, but life is so much more exciting when you're disciplined and working towards something. It doesn't have to be some huge life goal. It's anything that just gets you out of bed in the morning. Something that gives you a reason to want to chase each day. Because it feels good to improve, man. There's purpose for a change. I don't know you, I don't know your current situation, but I do know if you constantly feel lost and unmotivated in your life, it's because you haven't been in motion, and objects at rest stay at rest.
The problem isn't that it's hard. The problem isn't that you're scared. The problem isn't that you want to give up. The problem is you thinking it's not supposed to be like this, because it is. These obstacles are the tests you must pass to become the person you want to be. They were in the terms and conditions you didn't know you signed when you started chasing this dream of yours. So embrace the struggle, smile at the pain, because one day you'll look back on this time as the good old days.
The differential between the people that are achieving in life and don't achieve in life isn't really the potential, what they're born with, their gifts, or anything else. It's their perseverance, always showing up, always giving themselves a chance. Getting out of bed, coming here in the morning, going for it, and else sleep it. Put yourself in the opportunity to get that break, to give yourself a chance. At the end of the day, it's all you really do. So the more you feel against the wall, something will eventually stick.
I just wanted to be a better version of myself, and I kept looking in the mirror and envisioning what I could look like. As long as you're alive and you're strong and you can keep pushing and you stay motivated and disciplined and you just stick to the grind. And most importantly, you have a plan. As long as you work, you get there one day. Because something that everyone lacks nowadays is just having the consistency and the will to stay on the path you're on.
It's not what you do, it's who you are.
Yeah.
It's not what's gonna get you there, it's what's gonna keep you there. Do what's right, not what's easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not what you do, it's who you are. Like how you operate, how you treat people, how you do things. It's not what you do, it's who you are. right? It's not what got you there, it's what's gonna keep you there. Do what's right, not what's easy, right? Just how you live your life. It's certain people that live life a certain type of way. It's certain people that do things a certain type of way.
If you risk nothing, you risk everything. Risk is scary, but regret is terrifying. The safe harbor of success is an illusion. In life, your rewards rarely exceed your risks. Results, respect, resilience are all on the other side of risk. Be bold in the face of your fear. Never abandon. Take risks and take what's yours.
You only got one life, guys. Again, if you work it right, you only need one. If you give it all you have, you're gonna get max potential back. And then who knows what comes. That's the beautiful thing. If you don't show up, guys, you know the outcome. You'll never get the job, never get the part, never get the girl if you don't show up. If you show up, you're putting yourself in a situation to create those opportunities.
Failures are a prerequisite to who we want to become. I cannot stress that enough. So sometimes something that seems to be a negative thing, seems to be a bad thing that is happening to us, or even a season of dormant, or even a season where we have to sit back and start to recalibrate, recoil the spring, so to speak, reconfigure where we're at. Sometimes that's right where we need to be.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. Cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
So if you want to have a conviction for something, you have to sign up to be inconvenienced. We're trying to find convictions and passion and breakthrough on the inside of our box. Or when you realize that the box doesn't even exist, everything is possible. What if you do? What if the God that we call God, the divine, whatever your faith is, what if there's no partial? It's not gonna give me a hookup and I give you one. Not gonna give me an opportunity and I give you one. I'm just gonna go after it. If I die, I'm down the treadmill, like Wesky said. I'm gonna be on the treadmill running. You know, I'm just not gonna stop because I believe all things are available to us. I'm just willing to go after it. Are you willing? And then that is so disruptive because then you gotta make a decision.
Being grateful is such a powerful thing. And it's hard to be angry or upset when you're living in gratitude. It's hard to be frustrated, mad or resentful or any negative energy when you're from a voice of gratitude.
But when we are guarded or put on a persona or we try to look perfect all the time, we get caught in perfection prison. And we are trapped by this perfectionism, this approach, which also holds us back from ever launching something, from ever putting something out there, putting our music, our art, because it needs to be perfect. And so a lot of people don't create or put it out there because it's not ready. It's never ready for them.
People have a tendency to care more about what others are thinking about here than what their soul brings. And so they live from, what is so-and-so gonna think of me? What's my mother gonna think of me? What's the society gonna think of me? Being in a paradigm of scarcity and lack, you tear people down. If you're living in a paradigm with abundance and opulence, there's enough for everybody, you cheer people on. So your success makes me happy.
You're trying to do 4 things. You're trying to protect, prove, hide, defend. If you wake up every day and say, I have nothing to protect, I have nothing to prove, I have nothing to hide, I have nothing to defend. Now, who do I choose to be? See, we're not supposed to tuck our dreams in on the pillow when we get up in the morning. We're not supposed to leave them at home. we'll go and fulfill somebody else's dream. We're not supposed to do that. That's not what we're wired to do. That's not who we are. Your human spirit doesn't care about the economy. The human spirit doesn't care what's happened to your family. The human spirit doesn't care about the past, or your family may have been broke, or you may have been betrayed, or you may have a divorce. Your human spirit doesn't care about any of that. Your human spirit simply says, what's our command for tomorrow?
There's two voices that we all have. There's a first voice that tells you the next step, and it can only tell you the next step. So this first voice, that's the voice that we hear in our body. What will I also become if I'm willing to make a mess? But also it's my calling. It's something in me that says, I need to do this. So that's the first voice. But we've trained ourselves to ignore this voice and listen to the second voice that I believe is a collection of the average society.
It starts with a willingness to persist long after it's boring. It starts with the ability to think about those people that you really want to serve when you're scared and have no idea how you're going to pull it off. But you chose to believe that you could do it. You chose to believe that. And because you chose to believe that, you were able to achieve excellence.
And inside, everyone has a destiny, right? Beautiful destiny. The soul is calling us to be great beings, to be great lights, to live fully. And oftentimes people will dim their light in order to fit into someone else's paradigm and end up with crisis, end up with disease, end up with prolonged sadness.
It's not keeping score. Your brain is keeping score because your brain is designed to keep you safe. So you have to be willing to play between your brain and your soul. And on some days, you got to just listen to your soul.
To recognize that it doesn't have to be pinned to some great external thing that happens, because a lot of times these external things that happen, there's so much buildup, and when they happen, there's that moment, but then there's also the letdown that comes at the end of it because you've been working towards it, singularly focused on it, and then there's this lull that comes. Really, so much of what's available to us just happens in the quiet, in-between moments.
The ones you get out of your mind or become aware that people are going to talk about you either way. And at the end of the day, you are different because you whisper. That you going for actually brings out latent powers and gifts and talents within you that can't come to bloom unless you go for it.
One way or another, we got to get to that state where we just really love our lives, love each other, and enjoy this thing. You know, so many people are living in a hell. Like, this beautiful world is hell for them. They're suffering. No matter where they go, they got to bring themselves with them. And if you're that person, it doesn't matter. It's hell anyways. Let it burn. But when you love it and really love it, then it's a different thing.
I believe you are purpose. I believe you are purpose. You're created for a purpose. Like, we know the statistics, it's like a 0% chance of you being you. You are that. So when you operate from there, it gives you that confidence that I am that. It's not something I would search for. You can take your life wherever you want to take it.
When you're going for a goal, it's not just achieving the goal. It's actually who are you becoming. And then your new becoming, you have a different vibration.
So it is crucially important that we do enjoy ourselves. We've got to. Otherwise, like, what's our motivation? What's our motivation to do anything if we don't love it?
Time does not align with that thought, right? Time is a scarcity, right? If we think in terms of time, a man-made construct, by the way, we only have so much time. I'll be happy when I graduate. I'll be happy when I get my first job. It goes on and on. Guess what? When you attach your happiness to an outcome based on time, that time will never come. You need to, in order to be happy, enjoy the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your potential. That's happiness. Enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And you got to know what your potential is. What do you want? You need to consistently, every day, persistently, without quit, enjoy that pursuit. Why consistency? I think consistency is the most important thing because consistency elevates your awareness. What's the lesson? Don't limit your point of entry. Consistently, persistently pursue your potential and enjoy it. That's all I did.
And so there has to be this point in your life where what you want is so much greater than where you are. You're in such discomfort. In other words, the gap between what you're dreaming of, what you're destined to do, what you're capable of, you're aware of it compared to where you are. That tension between the two has a pull power to it, right? I really believe that. At the end of your life, you're going to get introduced to the person you could have been, you were destined to be, that he made you to be. And so I'm chasing that dude. Every day I'm chasing that dude. That's the pull power for me. I took the comfortable road. The comfortable road will never lead you to the person you are destined to be, ever in your life. And so if you don't become obsessed with chasing that person, you end up never meeting it.
Put an unfair pressure on people to have a vision, right? And I think that's true. We're not all Steve Jobs and we don't all have big world-changing visions, to your point. I do believe, however, you can find a vision, right? In other words, it doesn't have to be yours. It can be someone else's. We found Martin Luther King. We found Mahatma Gandhi. We found Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, the visionaries. And people go, I love his vision. But you don't have to have a vision, but I do believe you have to find one.
Some of y'all have a habit of dreaming within your bank account. Some of your thoughts and visions are so big and so outlandish and so powerful and amazing, you'll end up talking yourself out of that dream from saying, I can't afford that. I came here to remind you that when people laugh at your visions and ideas, it's only because they don't have their own visions and ideas around what they're supposed to do with their life or their careers. People that don't have any dreams for themselves, they tend to be dream killers. People that don't have their own visions, they become vision killers. They want nothing more than to talk you out of your own visions. They don't have dreams for themselves. They don't have any hopes. But I want to remind you to continue to dream and dream big.
So at any time, if you feel happy or unhappy, miserable, joyful, ecstatic, in a state of agony, doesn't matter what happens, what is your experience, pleasantness or unpleasantness, just to know that it's happening from within, and it can only happen from within. You can either take external stimuli or you can create your own stimuli, but essentially it happens from within. This one thing, if it is not grasped, when you feel miserable, if you think it's this one, you're gone. It's not going to work. This one basic fundamental thing is something that almost 90% of the humanity is always doing it wrong. Whenever they feel miserable, they think it must be this one or that one or that one or that one. No, all human experience is generated from within. The harder you try, the further away from it you go. First thing is to bring balance. Once there is balance, then you can build a tower on top of this.
So many of us are operating on patterns where we're trying to get needs met through other people that we have to focus inward first. We have to be able to fulfill ourselves, meet our own needs authentically before I can then authentically present them to another person.
The world doesn't need another perfect person. The world needs you. And you're trying your best. You're doing what you can. And, you know, I think it's really important that you cut yourself a break and that you stop thinking that you have to be perfect. There are going to be days where you feel so underwater, and that's okay. You'll get through it. You'll figure it out. And you've got to understand that it's not about being perfect. It's about just being you.
The mind's like, I want to be in charge of you. I don't want you to be in charge of me. So it tells you, let's just stop right here. But once you start breaking through that barrier and start breaking down that governor that you've put in your mind, because we forget we are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. We're good, this sucks, but it's okay.